this as fast as I can. So you have a general idea of what to do, what it looks like. So the little shadows in between these oranges, those are dark. Well, my only option is to go to the blue for the shadow. So there's one here. There's one here. There's one here. There's one here. Done. A couple of little highlights. Why not use white? Because I do not care about the color accuracy. So the little highlights on these guys, little cute mandarin oranges, like the cuties you get at Trader Joe's. That's exactly what they are, actually. Manet loved mandarins. They did not sell them at the bar at the Folies Bergère. He just put them in because he liked them. Again, back to the down here with the bar. You can make that really light using a different color. Again, I'm going to try to avoid this because I don't want the same colors on top of each other. But you know what? Why not? Yeah. Because it's a really, really light color. So if I add a bunch of white down here for the bar part, which is really a gray, now I've got this. And even if I'm being sloppy in the interest of speed, but even if I am not sloppy, you can paint this. There's a little medium gray here. And you don't even have to keep it the same as the painting. For example, like I made this little green bottle, I think that's absinthe or something, but I made it magenta. Well, and it's kind of the same value going up here, but instead of the magenta, I'll change the color. Even though here it's green and here it's still green, you know, what the hell? I'll change the color. I'll just make it the same. So I will take two different colors. In this instance, you know, again, the blue. So you have a lot of freedom. It is not about the accuracy of the color. And this is really light up here. And if you want to change something, unlike the grayscales, like I just painted this, and as I'm moving along, I'm like, you know, I don't want that blue there. Just wait for it to dry. Yeah, and then just paint it over with yellow and white, which I can probably do right now because that was kind of a dry. There, fixed it. The champagne bottles, those are really light. Again, I'm going to use yellow for those. Now I'll fill in the rest of her jacket, which is basically around the flowers. And I'm just dipping it in water. It's like, spread it out. And you can always change it. It's like, you know, I don't want to use that yellow. Once it's dry, you can paint right over it like I did with this one. Boom. Okay. That's kind of a medium too. That's a little bit darker. That's a little bit lighter. This is also, the lace is pretty light. And what, you know, the flowers. Now, the flowers, of course, if you find something that is an exact match, go for it. It's like, you know, this real pale magenta, I'll do that. I'll do that all day. Just the little, you know, you got the rose down here. And then that's a kind of pale yellow something or other flower up there. You do need to keep your brush relatively clean because if you start mixing the paints with one another, as you know from your earlier assignments, you know, they'll end up mixing together and all of a sudden you've got, you know, this, or you've got this, and we don't want that, okay? So for the the Triad, it's supposed to be really saturated. I know that, and you guys have been working on your complementary scales for a while, so this is a chance to like do something a little different. This is more like the color wheel, but even simpler because you're not mixing the colors with one another. And I think I'll stop there. Is that all clear? You know, and you can, as I said, if you do something and you want to change it, just wait a few minutes for the paint to dry. This is the illustration board, as you know from the emphasis paintings, when you put paint on it, it's much more absorbent. So when you're painting on this stuff, it'll dry faster than when you were painting on Bristol. So that'll help speed the process up. I noticed I missed a part here where I need to get the blue around it. You know, and I can touch it up later when I get totally insane. And you know, if you want to get really crazy, like get into the whole like lace patterning thing. There's a little shadow here. Oop, too much water. Too much water. So you can get this crazy detail. As I said, I don't mind you painting the paints on top of one another, just don't actually mix them wet into wet. And you can get this lovely little simulation of the pattern on the lace right there. Get it up to the camera. There it is. And I have to like get in on it. There. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I know it's a little awkward. This is pretty dark. I've got enough of that. Let's go with I'm just going to go with the magenta right out of this for that bottle, and so on. So I just gave you a little corner. As I mentioned, there is one area that's big, you know, her jacket, that big jacket area. I need a little more for this. Now I'm just like worried out because and this is where things start to get difficult. Is I'm looking at the original and I'm familiar with all the original colors, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, where is she again? You know, where is that crazy black jacket? And because I'm lazy, I'm just doing it with the big brush. But I can always go in on top of that and fix it once it's dry. Same deal. I think I did. This was the one where I showed you that, yes, it is okay in this assignment to do the really pale blue. So I'll do the base of this thing. There we go. And I'll put a little white in on top of that, just for all the little highlights. Like there. Like this, boom. Okay, so you guys can all see. Boom. Got it? No questions. That's clear. So this is what it should look like in general. Like all of your work will look like this, even though you all have different source material. Understood? Okay.